Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all students. Yes, we have completed the chapter number 3, Glimpses of the Past, in the previous lecture. So here we are going to start the next poem from the Honeydew test book, that is the Last Bargain. And the poet of this poem is Rabindranath Tagore. Yes, before we move on to the introduction of the poem as well as the introduction of the poet, let us know what the title means. Yes, the last bargain. The last, as you know, it is the final. And what is the bargain? Yes, bargain is an agreement between two parties. Yes. The last bargain, the last which is final, and the bargain which means an agreement between two parties. And it is written by Rabindranath Tagore. So let us know something about the poet. Rabindranath Tagore. He was born in Calcutta on 7th May 1861, and his pen name was Banu Singh Thakur, and he was a poet, dramatist, novelist, short story writer, a philosopher and nation builder, whatsoever we can say. And he founded a school, that is Shantiniketan School in West Bengal, and it became very popular and also became as an international university which was later known as Vishva Bharati. Yes, and as you know, very well known about Rabindranath Tagore, that he is the author of our national anthem, Indian national anthem, we can say, that is Jana Gana Mana, and he is also a Nobel Prize winner, and we can say that he is a known person to everyone in India as an Indian author. Yes, and he died in the year 7th August 1941. As we have seen about the poet, that is Rabindranath Tagore, yes, let us have a short introduction of the poem. The last bargain, as I have said, that is the final agreement between two parties. Yes, Rabindranath Tagore has given this poem in a way that he has talked about one person. He was talked about a person, and he is the speaker of this poem. Yes, he is the speaker of this poem, and he is in need of work. So here Rabindranath Tagore is portraying one person, that is the speaker of this poem, who is in need of work, and he wants to work, and as he was so we can say that he is suffering in a difficult situation, that he wants to be hired by someone for work, and he was saying that he should not lose his freedom. He should, whatever he is getting from the work, it should be everlasting. It should not be vanished from him after a few days or few months or years. That is his view before going to that work. So he is crossing so many people where they are giving him work, but he is not satisfied. So to whom he is going? First he is going to a king, where he is offering him the work, that is he is going to give him the power and for the service of the man, that is the person who is in need of work. So to that person, this king is giving his power. So but the man, the speaker of the poem, is not satisfied with that. He is saying that the power will be went away if the king dies. Next, who is where he is going? He is going to through a lane an old man who came out of his house and telling him that he will give him work and in return he will give him money. And he started to count the coins one by one. For that also this person was not satisfied. He is just saying that he is just counting his wealth and showing his wealth. So that money now if it is there with me, tomorrow it will be spent by me and it will be not be there in my hand. So it is also not lasting with me for after a few days or months. So he went away from that man also. Next he is going through a fence, we can say, a garden. Through that one beautiful lady came over there. And what she is saying that she will give her smile for the work. For that also the person who is asking for the work, he is saying that the smile will be gone into darkness, that is sadness after some time. He will not always be smiling in every situation. So that smile is also not a everlasting thing. So what he is saying, he went away from there also. And he is going to this was the day when in the morning he saw the king, and in the afternoon he saw the old man, and in the evening he saw the lady. The whole day went in disappointment because he is not getting whatever he expected. So in the next day he is starting with a new day, and that day with a hope and courage he was going to a seashore where he saw a boy playing with the shells in the seashore. And a child, you can say, will not have anything to think of. He will be free in his work and doing and everything. So he will be not having any power, wealth, beauty, this and that. And that boy asked to the speaker, that is the man who won the work, that you will help me in my work. Like that, he asked to the man. Now, here the man got the freeness to work with that boy because the boy is not having anything with him to do. So this was the poem written by Rabindranath Tagore in 4 stanzas, discussing about the first stanza about the king, the next stanza about the old man who is offering the money, and the third stanza with the lady who was beautifully want to give the smile for the work to that man, and the last stanza where the boy is playing with a we can say freedom which he offered, which was satisfied with the speaker. So let us move on to the poem in detailed explanation. So see here the last bargain, and the poet is Rabindranath Tagore, in which a bargain is an agreement in which both parties promise to do something for each other. That means if you are giving something to them, they will in return give you something in return of that. So here, as for example, you can say you are going for a work and somebody is giving you a salary. So that is what you are giving your work and the salary is returned to that in the way. So here, someone is looking for work, waiting to be hired. So in this poem, a person who is looking for a work and he is waiting to be hired. He is waiting for somebody to appoint him for the work. Yes, he strikes a bargain. He is striked with a bargain. He got an opportunity with that bargain, but thinks it worthless. He was striked many a times with some or the other work is given to him, appointed to that, but he was not satisfied. He thinks that work is worthless for him. So he tries twice again but doesn't like either. So what happened? First he thought that he may given some more work with that, he will be happier. But what happened? He was trying his level best twice and thrice, but he was not satisfied with that work. So finally, in the last bargain, that is in the final agreement between someone, when he is hired for nothing. That means he was given the work for nothing. For money, for power, for anything, he he was just given blank. So that whatever he is happy as never before. Because he wants some freedom in his work. So everyone is working in the world. Maybe they are happy or unhappy, but they have to work because they have to fulfill their life without starvation, we can say. So here, this man who want to work, but he want to work with full happiness and freedom. He should not be under someone who was making his power, and what we can say, it will be vanished some after days or months, we can say. So that he want. Whatever he is getting in the work, it should be there for a last, we can say, everlasting. So what is the bargain and why is it the best? The last bargain which it's right, which was made satisfied the man. What was that bargain? And why it was the best, we will see in this poem. Yes, the first stanza. Come and hire me. Come and hire me, I cried. Here, I which means the speaker of the poem. So, come and hire me. He is shouting very loudly to everyone that hire me, appoint me. Why? In the morning. So here, in the morning itself, he started to shout. It shows that the hope and courage. That is, in the morning, we will always wake up with a hope that today is going to be a good day. Isn't it? So here, this person who wants to be appointed for some work, he is opening up his day with a hope and courage that someone will give him work. So that day what happened? I was walking on a stone paved road. That means again here the speaker is telling that he was walking on the stone paved road. Stone paved road, that means he was in a difficult times. Difficult times means in every life of the people, there will be a situation comes where he is in need of work badly, we can say. And so that time, it was a very difficult time that he was walking on that road, and what happened next? A man, that is sword in his hand, the king came in his chariot. That is sword in the hand. A king will be having a sword, that is, the knife or anything with a big which they will be using for the war front. So that he was carrying, the king was carrying, and he came in his chariot. That is a two-wheeled vehicle with horse. So he came in that, what he was doing? He held my hand and said, he was taking the hand of the speaker and saying, I will hire you with my power. So here, what the speaker is offered, I will hire, that is here, I refers to the king. So the king is saying that he will appoint him with his power. So now what happened? Now the work is given, that is, the speaker got the appointment, but what he is doing, but his power counted for naught. Here, what the speaker is saying, that no value is there for the power. Why? He went away in his chariot. When he said, the speaker said that your power is not going to work or no value for that. So what happened? The king went away. Why he said that? Because if a king dies, then what will be the assurance of the power? So he is feared of that. So what he is doing? The speaker went away with a disappointment that he may not be free or he will not get the work what he is expecting. So have you understood the first stanza? Yes. So next stanza, in which, see, in the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. So here, in the heat of the midday, so it was very hot and the houses stood with shut doors. That means no hope was there. When he saw the door shut, his hope is getting little by little gone away, we can say. And I wandered along the crooked lane. Wandered, he was going and going for the, we can say that he was finding, he was searching for the work along the crooked lane, even more difficult times. Crooked lane, he was going, the lane which was bent and we can say that not defined. It was going here and there, so that lane defines you. We can say that it was even more difficult time to the speaker when he was not getting the work. So here an old man came out with his bag of gold. So one of the door opened, and from that door outside an old man came, and that man having a bag and carrying more gold, we can say, inside that bag. Now what he is going to do? See, he pondered. That means he is thought carefully. Pondered means carefully. And what he was saying, said, I will hire you with my money. I will appoint you with my money. So for that, he waved his coins one by one. So he just told to him that he will be hiring him with the money, and he started to wave the coin one by one. So, but I turned away. I is the speaker who turned away, thought that that money will be now, today is with me, tomorrow it will not be with me. Because once the money will be spent, it will not come back to us the next day. If we will work, then only that money. So it is also loss lasting for more than months or days or years. So he thought that the money will also not give him any satisfaction or freeness in his work. That is also worthless according to the speaker, and he turned away and went away from that place. I hope you have understood the two stanza very well. This was the explanation of the first two stanzas. Now let us move on to the literary device used in this two stanzas. Yes. Come and hire me. I cried while there in the morning. I was walking on the stone-paved road, sword in hand. The king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, I will hire you with my power. But his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot. So what is this? Have you seen any rhymes here? No. So the whole poem, we can say, the literary device used, we can see that the blank verse, which means a poem will be given in a way that it will not follow any rhyme. It will feel like somebody is giving a speech or somebody is giving whatever they have experienced. It will not follow any rhyme in the poem, and it is of 16-line poem, we can say, with a blank verse, and the poem which will not follow any rhyme in each of the line. So the first one, literary device, is the blank verse, and the next one is the symbolism. Symbolism, we can see, is a figure of speech in which the word or idea or an object or a thing or a person, whoever is talking, to that some hidden meaning will be there. A hidden meaning we can see in the morning. That is hope and courage. We can say whenever we are starting with a day, that we will be having a hope and courage. So in the morning here, in this poem, it symbolizes that is a hope and courage of the man who want to be appointed by some work. The next one is the stone paved road. That means the difficult time of the speaker. And the next line we can see, sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. Chariot, which means the epitome of power of the king. That means he was very much, we can say that in power who will be very much proud about themselves. That is what he is showing his power in this, which is epitome of power. And the next we can see that is counted for naught, that is no value. So this was, it is in the first stanza, symbolism used. Next stanza, the symbolism literary device is used, where you can see heat of the midday. That means it was very hot, that he was in a difficult time, we can say that he was going through such a condition that he was not seeing any heat or cold or anything. Just in his mind, one thing is sure, that he want to be hired with some work. So he was crooked lane, that is even more difficult or terrible, we can say. And terrible. The situation of the speaker, we can see when it was in the afternoon, crooked lane, which means even more difficult and terrible. So the next line, we can see that an old man came out with his bag of gold, and he pondered and said, I will hire you with my money, and waved his coin one by one. So waved his coin one by one shows us that he is the wealthiest person. That he is showing himself that he is the wealthiest person. He can give any amount to the man, whatever the work will be done. So this was the symbolism used in this two stanza. Next we are going to see the figure of speech, that is alliteration. Third one is the alliteration. Similar sounds will be used in the same line. In the word, the similar sound will be pronounced in the same line. We can see here, come and cry. See, ka sound is repeated, and was walking. Was walking, the was sound is repeated again and again. So here you can see in the next, sword in hand, the king came. King came. And the next line you can see, he and held. So hand and higher. So her sound is repeated in the line repeatedly, and here, but his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot. So in the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane, an old man came out his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. Will and with will come together. He waved his coins one by one, but I turned away. So alliteration is the repetition of sounds in a line repeatedly. That sound of consonants will be repeated in the words we can see in the stanza 1 and the stanza 2. I hope you have understood the explanation of both the stanza as well as the literary device used in this stanzas. Thank you and have a nice day.